This is the pass. So this is where we'll basically plate all of the food.
Never has so much attention focused on one Minneapolis restaurant, Spoon and Stable, opened by a New York City chef who came home.
I grew up cooking and baking with my grandmother, Dorothy.
Gavin Kaysen grew up in Bloomington, where even as a baby, you could tell he loved food.
But when I was 15, my mom said, "You gotta stop mowing lawns, go get a job."
The cold cut combo at Subway came calling.
That got me into the cooking world, and not like I was necessarily cooking anything, but I was making sandwiches.
You were a sandwich artist.
Certified sandwich artist.
After culinary school, Gavin traveled the world, cooking for the U.S. at the Olympics of Cooking. On Iron Chef, he was named Food and Wine's Best New Chef. Then legendary chef Danielle Boulud called him to work at his New York cafe.
That's like getting the call to the Yankees, you know? It was a good call. I mean, there's 40,000 restaurants in Manhattan, you know? I mean, Cafe Boulud was consistently rated the top 15 or 20th best restaurant in that city.
But when it came time to open his own place, Gavin picked Minneapolis.
The food scene in the last 5 years has been insane.
Spoon and Stable is an old stable in the city's North Loop, and the chef is notorious for collecting restaurant spoons.
You're a thief.
Slightly.
Yeah.
And what happens is, well, now people send them to me, which is good.
Epicurious is one of many who've named this restaurant one of the most anticipated openings in the country.
Honestly, we try not to think about that as much as we can help it at least. We feel the pressure. I mean, every day I wake up and I feel the pressure. But that's also why I got into this business.
Half of the kitchen staff moved to Minneapolis to work here.
If people always say to me, "So what is it? Is it French? Is it Italian?" It's delicious.
The menu will have 5 sections: garden with vegetables, chilled with tartares and crudos, pasta, sea, and land.
It's not French by design. It's American by design. It's American by taste. It's Minnesotan by hospitality.
Soon, people will fly into Minneapolis for 24 or 48 hours specifically to eat here. Good news for Spoon and Stable, but great for so many other restaurants about to be discovered on the national radar.
I'm so proud to know that I grew up here and that I'm able to come back and that this is the food scene now.
At Stephen Brown's award-winning Tilia in South Minneapolis, you won't find mac and cheese on the Cootie Catcher Kids menu.
Yuzu soy, fried rice.
The shrimp fried rice is good, real scratch cooking.
If it's good enough for the kids' meal, it's good enough for me. Here we go.
But Stephen's making good kids' food inside and out of his restaurant. The Minneapolis Public Schools asked him to join their True Food Chef Council.
Having a kid myself and living a block away from the school where my child goes seemed like a no-brainer.
The fruits of the chef's labors are literally already showing up in Minneapolis school lunchrooms. Marcy Open School just got its new salad bar thanks to fundraisers organized by Restaurant Alma, Brasa, Senyai Senlek, and Pizzeria Lola, all True Food Chef Council members.
I believe that the salad bar is very beneficial to all the school.
I always put carrots, lettuce, chickpeas, and skim milk.
Not many schools get to have this opportunity to have fresh fruits and vegetables.
It may look simple, but getting a salad bar into 61 neighborhood schools isn't easy.
At Marcy, we don't have a sink.
Bertrand Weber leads MPS lunch programs. More than 30 chefs and restaurants help serve up support and money.
To have us here promoting, the food, couldn't be any better. They're really excited about this choice they can make in their meal.
Not that simply putting out broccoli and wheatberry is going to totally change the way kids eat.
It's sort of all part of a movement, so baby steps.
Chefs like Stephen are working with the schools to create healthy and delicious recipes.
This is the only thing like it in the country.
So good, Tilia is putting some of them on their own menu.
Not only is it okay for school lunch, but it's okay for Tilia too. So break down some of those barriers.
For school lunch to get better, parents have to stop packing Lunchables and leftover pizza and start signing their kids up for the salad bar.
Hey, school lunch is good.
It's exactly what you envisioned.
Exactly, yeah.
Eva Duckler has had a busy summer.
I'm 17.
Normal teenage stuff. She graduated high school, built a bottling line, and launched a root beer brand.
I've been trying root beer since I was really young. Probably tried hundreds of root beers.
Tree Fort root beer isn't like Dad's or Bark.
I'm a super nostalgic person, which is maybe bizarre for being only 17 years old. But I really liked the idea of thinking back on what it was like to be really young and go into a drive-in maybe and get a frosty mug of root beer.
It's all made by hand at Verdant Tea, the Minneapolis tea house and cafe her brother David owns.
I don't know anything about business. I wouldn't have known, how to get a Minnesota tax ID number if it weren't for him, for example. And so we've been a good team for that. The herbs in there.
Making root beer and making tea have a lot in common.
Basically, you just let it steep for about 20 minutes.
She's using sarsaparilla, of course, but adding chicory, ginger, anise, and cloves.
And then there's a little bit of mintiness, so some peppermint and spearmint.
Cane sugar gets caramelized.
Get a little bit of water in there, not too much.
The initial herbs get strained out, then mixed into that sugar.
There's no artificial flavors. It's using only cane sugar and honey to sweeten it.
Eva adds water, carbonates the stuff in big kegs, and then tries to bottle it.
You're probably not ready for mass production with this bottling line.
You can do 3 bottles at a time.
You do this in the garage, or where did you make this thing?
Yeah, we made it in the garage at home. Couple hours, $200 at Home Depot.
Made by hand and from the heart, Tree Fort root beer is just the beginning.
It's really good.
Thank you.
It's really good, and it's so different from what people are used to.
While Eva's away at college, she'll be studying more flavors of soda.
I just want to keep growing it as much as I can, really.